Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we're going to need to tick forward a little bit here, mostly to get our pilots back actually, because we did not need much repairs. However, we do need, I think, at least 2 more days to tick forward, maybe 3. I would love to get a couple more medical points to bring that down a little bit, but we'll just go to there for now. Okay, of course this upgraded low G pool will give us an additional medical point, so that'll help. And we'll just hop into the barracks here. And we will see what we need to do as far as promotions go.
Training confirmed, Commander.
Here we go, there's one. We'll grab a point of piloting for Curated, I suppose. Not like that's super impactful for him. Same with El Duce here.
I'm here.
And a point of piloting. Jinx, on the other hand, I am very interested in grabbing that point of gunnery. Thank you very much.
Orders.
For Kraken, a point of piloting, sure. And let's see here. Lord Daki is fine. Anything else here? Yes. Squib can grab a point of guts.
Standing by. Hey there.
And Woody can also grab a point of guts. Okay, that is fine. Do we need to do anything in the mech bay? I don't think we do. I mean, we've got that imp that I would still like to repair. We've got 2 others, at least 2 others, for assaults in the pipeline. But we need money right now, more than anything else. So that, of course, means we gotta go fight and risk it all. I would not necessarily... Oh, that's a lot of max pay. And a lot of salvage on a 5 skull attack and defend. That's spooky. That is real spooky. This is more spooky. But we could do this. This is an ambush convoy mission. There's Lost Tech available. I think we sit right down the middle. This is against Clan Burrick, which is going to be exciting. But we do need a pilot for this Chameleon. A mech warrior, you have Chameleon affinities, so in you go. And we are ready to deploy. So let's go ahead and do this. Do we want to bring the Centurion to this instead of a Chameleon? We need to kill that convoy. Being able to keep up with it is nice. The Centurion is likely to miss it, right? So let's just go ahead and run this. I would love to put that imp back together. Just can't afford it right now. If only we could. Or if only we could unready it. I should have waited. But for some reason I was thinking that it would cost less to repair it. Or that we had more money. Or I don't know what I was thinking. At any rate, it's not the worst thing, necessarily. But we also don't really have the tonnage to drop it. So, it's all fine. I think our vehicle lance is honestly pretty done. Like, I don't think we need anything else there. I think it's pretty good as is. As far as our, I would call it like the chasing lance? Not really almost a cavalry lance. I'd like to get that upgraded to heavy cavalry mechs. And then the Juggernaut lance, our assault lance, will of course be full of slow big boys. For now, though, we need to destroy the Burrick convoy and escape, with a secondary of defeating any escort units. We need to make a deniable strike on a Burrick convoy. Intel shows the convoy is a shipment of weapons, including at least 1 intact Star League-era weapon system. Ooh. That level of technology could shift the balance of power in Ashcombe, something Davian leadership isn't willing to tolerate. Obviously, Davian would prefer to salvage the Lost Tech themselves, requiring us to clear out any defending forces. Thus, they're paying more if we clear out the defenders. Indeed, I'm wondering if the game is crashing right now. I mean, it's not responding currently, so that's a good sign. However, it's not a great sign that it hasn't even, like, ticked forward yet. Is this a crash? This may be a crash. Let's investigate what it's using for system resources, shall we? And I tabbed out, which actually killed the sound. Oh, okay. I see on OBS, we are here. Okay. Fantastic. Let's do this. No crash this time. Denial zone is here. The vehicles are off-road. We have allies. And the convoy is here. Presumably going to make its way up here or perhaps up here. This is rough terrain, though. And try to make their way down the road. They'd have to come all the way around and up here. Maybe they try to go around this way, but I don't think they do. I think we drop here. And let's see what we get. That looks suspiciously like a king crab, but probably an allied one.
I've got eyes on the target.
Yeah, that's a Davian king crab there.
This is a hellhole.
This is a lot of units. Okay, so we see a Davian fulcrum.
Who fights over?
They're immediately firing on our Jaeger. I'm missing everything. Okay. I mean, that's fine. What is that, a Stormcrow? Yeah, that's a Stormcrow. Okay, and then we see that there's also... Like, our allies are in a really good spot here. This is our defenders here. Ah, this is the convoy on the road. Okay. And they've got a Timberwolf here. What is this, a second Timberwolf? Yeah, it's a second Timberwolf. Okay, that's fine. And then there's this guy who looks suspiciously like a big boy, but actually, I believe that's a summoner. And a couple of Stormcrows. This doesn't look too bad. The king crab can probably get in here and wreck these guys pretty good. We're going to walk up with our Jaeger here. Actually, no, we are going to use our Chameleon because that's who actually can move here. We're going to position right up here. And I would love to open fire on the Stormcrow. We'll see if we get anything. I doubt it.
Affirmative.
Nope, whole lot of nothing. That's fine.
Missed.
Yes, you did. You definitely did do that. Clan will move a lot. They, of course, move very early in the phase. Okay, that's a little bit more lasers, a few fewer autocannons there on that Stormcrow. And moves up into cover. And yeah, that is indeed a summoner, as expected.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Our Raven will position right up over here in the cover.
Moving out.
And we will fire on... I mean, the Stormcrow's the only option, right? Well, we tagged it. That's something, I suppose. He already moved, so there's that. Our vehicles are definitely going to come up here and engage their convoy, though. We're in a very good position here. They have to get through us, including through our big boys, to get to their evac point. I'm very happy about that. Okay, a little bit of damage to our Jaeger. We don't care, though. That's completely irrelevant to us.
Light damage.
Who else do they have in Phase 21? Also, these are their 5 escorts, I think.
I've got
Do
you.
they have additional reinforcements? Like... This is seeming too easy right now.
Confirmed.
Yeah, we'll go for the side arc on the summoner here.
Confirmed.
Oh, we missed everything. I expected to hit a couple of things there. But, okay.
Damn it all.
Everything is fine, too. Okay, that is, I believe, a member of the convoy. That didn't quite look like a Gauss rifle, but it did the 75 damage.
On that hit.
I'm not entirely sure what that was, but it was similar to a Gauss. Okay, they've got heavy lasers on that Timberwolf. What is that, ATMs? That's a big ol' overheat, though.
Yeah?
Our Blackjack can position Actually, right here is pretty ideal.
I'll do what I can.
33%. Yeah, we'll hit the summoner. Summoners have decent armor, but this isn't the greatest armor. And we missed everything. Okay, that wasn't worth the overheat. Oh well. I'm hoping to tag these guys a little bit.
Standing by.
Our guillotine can position... Actually, here is pretty fine.
Confirmed.
This is the long-range guillotine. And the summoner is the best target here. This is, of course, a massive overheat. We're not going to run the ER large, or the ER mediums, or the ER large. Just the dual PPCs right now. Actually, I changed my mind. We're going to run these two. Those are our better hit odds.
Confirmed. Fire.
Okay, we finally tagged the summoner a little bit there. And our Jaeger is also going to come up over this way. We don't need to move too much. I don't want to position here. We're going to position here instead. A single evasive pip, I'd love to vigilance it, but that's not going to happen. The Jaeger can take another hit. We're going to fire on this summoner with our Gauss. Okay, decent damage into that summoner there. We'll see what the Shiltrin decides to do. Miss the summoner. Okay. Anything that the AI does that actually helps us is just a bonus. I don't exactly care. Got those pulse lasers. Okay. That is a large pulse laser. Not the most heat efficient, but that Timberwolf can manage it for now since it's just firing the single. We're going to sprint forward with our guillotine here. We're not really able to get in vision of much, but I would still love to hit this summoner. I'm not going to fire this clan medium pulse laser for heat purposes, but we'll try to tag this guy a little bit. Ooh, 8 damage. That was so worthwhile. Wonderful. Well, we will see what this Orion decides to do. Uh-huh, that's quite an overactive AMS. That's a Demolisher. Okay, I'm not sure how many rounds of ammo a Demolisher can carry.
Orders?
We're going to move up with our Archer here. And I actually wouldn't mind positioning the Archer up here. 47% on the Summoner. That's actually pretty good. We'll take it. Not great, but we did get a head hit there. They do have another AMS. They're attacking the Orion. Okay, that's a splash damage with a bunch of Inferno. I'm not happy about that. Like, the damage isn't much, right? But the Inferno, that makes me a little sad. The Harasser here, though, it is absolutely going to move up over into this position. I'm actually considering attacking this Timberwolf here. And I think I will. The Harasser's not really in position right now to go after the vehicle. Oh, we missed everything?
Attack failed.
That was unfortunate. Okay, and then they're firing on the guillotine. We've got some AMS there. Looks good. We didn't actually hit with the AMS. So, you know, less good. We're going to move the J. Edgar up here. And we're going to do pretty much the same exact thing, I think. I am not sure that there's a ton of point in going for this Oro right now. And not immediately. We're going to still go for this Timberwolf. Okay, we did hit it with one of the Flamers. So we'll take that. The King Crab backs off there. And misses literally everything. Okay, it gets 8 damage. That's fine. Puma moves up. Fires on the Harasser. Doesn't really do much there.
That could have been worse.
Yes, indeed. It absolutely could have. The Nidhogg is now going to make its way up over this way. I would love to get in a little closer than this. Sadly, this is the best we can do right now, and I think this is close enough to get into the summoner with our bombs. Maybe? No, not quite. This is in rocket pack range. I'm not going to bother firing the rocket pack from this angle.
Negative damage.
It'll be next round when we'll be able to really bring the Nidhogg to bear. The Maxim will join our vehicles up over here. And I'm interested in hitting this guy with Inferno rounds, if we can help it.
Giving them everything I've got.
Okay, we hit a few of those. Gave him 12 heat. Sure. That'll give him something to think about this next round, anyway. Phase 24. That's this Stormcrow over here. That's a lot of damage for a Stormcrow.
Took a hard hit there.
I mean, it is a Lacerator. Even so. That's a lot of damage for a 55-tonner. But that's okay. Our Chameleon will make its way up over this way, or perhaps come down here to attack the Lacerator. There's flames on the way no matter what we do here. So I think we'll position here. I would love to Vigilance. Unfortunately, we can't. And we're just going to fire without the heavy lasers, for sure. I think we'll also not fire the small laser. There we go. Those stray shots was what I was looking for there.
Watch my heat levels.
Excellent. Now, I do expect that they're going to focus this Chameleon pretty hard. And we'll see how that plays out. I'm hoping that we get the Nidhogg in there. Okay, that's the Fulcrum coming up there. That is a lot of AMS. Good to get it firing now, though. It is good to get it firing now. That Oro fires on our ally, and its armor actually holds. So that's great. That is absolutely wonderful. Our Raven, I'm going to place down over here. Unfortunately, we can't really do too much. So we're just going to sprint and sink heat.
Getting pretty hot in here, Commander.
Yeah, we got to get out of this fire.
My heat getting pretty high.
Yeah, I'm aware. That's some good damage to that Timberwolf. We'll take that.
Isn't armor bad?
You're okay. Yeah, I fully expected this. Where was that structure exposure at?
I'm taking heavy hits, Commander.
Yeah, those Stormcrows, they gotta go. That's 2 Lacerators, actually. Timberwolf moves up, sinks heat, and does not oh, it does fire. It attempts to fire on the Nidhogg. It gets very little done, though. Wonderful.
Damage is minor, Commander.
And it shut itself down. That's actually a big deal for us. Okay. Our Jaeger, it was a head hit there. However, the Jaeger is definitely not in the best of conditions. We're going to back it off for right now.
On it.
And we're going to brace. Try to get out of LOS there. That's a Clan Demolisher Mark 1. Okay. That was a lot of hits for 80 evasive pips. But I think
Keep it up.
it stray shot itself. Or its friend, rather. That's our harasser there. What did it stray shot? I'm not sure, but it stray shot something. Clearly. Okay, it's our archer's move. And our archer, I would love to see it. We have to go for the summoner or for the lacerators here. This lacerator is actually the better option. They do still have AMS. Don't get me wrong. Actually, this Ultra AC5 is out of ammo. This one is not. Interesting. But our hit odds are best on this lacerator. And we actually did a lot there.
Reporting critical hit.
That was very big. Puma moves up, fires on the harasser. Ow. 8 evasive pips. And it hit that many. Disgusting. Oh well, the harasser is, of course, expendable. The blackjack is just going to You kind of can't get anywhere useful. We could position here and fire on this weakened lacerator. We're not, of course, going to be firing those ERPPCs. And we missed the lasers. Okay, that's fine.
Negative damage.
I'm a little salty that the harasser died, but it got focused pretty heavily, so it's okay. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. King Crab, light up that lacerator. That is exactly what we were looking for. Now that mortar carrier is now firing on the archer, and I'm 1,000,000% okay with that.
Heat sinks can't vent fast enough. Taking damage.
You're okay. The Chameleon, this is flames on the way, but we're going to position right down here. Yes, we're going to be running very hot here. There's no doubt about that. We will not fire the ER medium or the ER small, or really much of anything here. Really just the machine gun. Fishing for crits. This lacerator has no weapons left. No crits got. Okay, that's fine. Okay, the Orion moves back, fires on the summoner. I like that. Good damage on that summoner, including narking him. Interesting.
Waiting for orders.
Okay, so our J. Edgar at this point can get into the back line of the convoy, and that is indeed exactly what we're going to look to do. And we're going to start working on this Puma. We can't kill it,
Full complement on the enemy.
but we can do some damage to it.
Yes, Commander.
Excellent. The Nidhogg is now going to move up over around here-ish. Yeah, we'll position right here.
Heading out.
And we are going to drop bombs on this summoner, which should splash damage all of these mechs. Light him up. Perfect. We took out this lacerator.
I think I hit something good.
And this summoner is not doing so well.
Aye, aye.
Our guillotine is probably going to stay put here, so that we don't take the running through heat penalty rather. We'll not fire this medium pulse laser. We will, however, fire the bolt-on rockets here.
Copy that.
That's a leg destruction.
Scored a critical.
So of course that's a knockdown.
Missiles are out.
Okay. Sounds good.
Ready for orders.
Now our long-range guillotine is going to light into this guy with everything it can. Not this clan ERPPC, obviously. It's pretty much just going to be this single ER medium laser because that chemical fire is doing a lot of damage to us right now. We did take out the SRM-4,
A critical hit.
So that's something, anyway.
Puma moves up. Fires on the J. Edgar. If we lose the J. Edgar, which we do, it's fine. They can waste their ammo on those vehicles as much as they want. I'm completely okay with that. Those are fully expendable. Timberwolf moves up, does not fire. Okay.
How's it going?
Our Maxim is now going to make its way around into this rear arc as well. And we're going to go for this Demolisher. We are going to fire Inferno rounds, since these are vehicles. We could theoretically kill this Demolisher with the dual LBX AC-20s. I would like to see that dead.
Here it comes.
We did not. Okay. The Summoner gets up. And we'll see what it decides to do here. Okay, rear arc attack on the Jaeger. That's fine. We accept that. That armor is absolutely fine right now for that sort of an attack. Summoner then limps on over. And there's not a lot that it can do.
Good to go.
Okay, the Jaeger is going to position over here. Now, I don't think we fire on the Summoner here unless our hit odds are just tremendously good, which they actually kind of are. We'd be firing between our guillotines here, which is a little bit dangerous. But we can really hurt that Summoner if we hit this.
On target.
And we did. That's a dead Summoner. That was worth it.
Tango down.
Excellent. The king crab should be capable of taking care of that lacerator on its own. We'll start moving these guys up to intercept this force. That timber wolf is still shut down. The fulcrum moves up, fires on the shutdown timber wolf. Only does a little bit of splash damage there. That wasn't particularly great. The timber wolf will start up relatively soon, but they're attacking the king crab, which I like. I like that a lot. Please continue to hit our allied king crab. Okay.
Waiting for orders.
I think actually we are... do I want to make our way back up this way, or do we want to come in over this way instead? I think we want to come in over this way, but we absolutely want to vigilance this. This guy is a target. 31.5? Okay. We will fire on this timber wolf then. I think I would love to fire the heavy lasers here. Maybe we fire those instead of these small lasers. A single heavy laser? Yeah, it's not the best. But we'll light into him a little bit here. Oh, we even missed the heavy laser. Ooh, that was bad luck. Okay. The Timberwolf starts back up. And at this point, it's our Raven's turn. The Raven absolutely will head back up this way.
Sprinting.
And sink some heat. The Gauss-Oro positions to attack the Blackjack. I'm not shocked by this. Our armor is okay.
Losing lots of armor.
You're fine.
Major armor loss.
You're completely fine.
Standing by.
Our Guillotine will now move up over this direction and look to engage these guys head-on down the road. I want to fire on this Oro. We're going to probably take a lot of damage from these vehicles. These are some pretty powerful vehicles, all things considered. I think we don't fire the ERPPC here, though.
Okay, I'm on it.
And we just do some front arc damage to this Oro. Our fire support should be more than capable of dealing with these guys. That Orion is also hitting the Oro, which I like a lot. He did shut himself down, which hopefully means that they're going to target him. Oh, go for the Maxim. Yeah, that's pretty ideal. Especially if they're going to miss the autocannons. I like it. Okay. Next up, this Chameleon. Once again, we're going to come in over this way. This Chameleon is likely to be a target. It is quasi-expendable. I do want to go for this Timberwolf. This would be a slight overheat. I think we don't fire the ER medium, but otherwise, light him up. That was a lot of damage, actually. Glorious.
Too hot. Need to cool down.
Okay, next up, the Shiltrin is going to not do anything. Now the Puma moves up, fires on that shutdown Orion. Perfect. Please continue that.
I'm here.
The Blackjack is going to position over here.
Confirmed.
And we are going to look to continue to work on the weak front arc of this Oro. I do want to fire the ERPPCs. I think actually we fire like this. The 2 medium lasers and the 1 ERPPC for heat purposes.
Acknowledge.
Okay, we did hit the Oro with the PPCs. The mortar carrier moves up. It fires on the Orion. That's fine.
My armor's melting off.
You're okay.
Wow.
It's that Orion that's not okay, but we don't care about that Orion.
Commander.
Our Guillotine will move up over here. That is flames on the way. I would prefer to not be in flames on the way. And I think here we fire just our lasers, not our PPC. Actually, it has to be the medium lasers only for heat purposes.
Roger.
That is a structure exposure on that Oro. And we'll take that. The King Crab moves up. Lights into that Timberwolf. That was very solid. Yep. That was a very good attack there from that King Crab. That's a knockdown. Puma moves up. Fires on the Orion. Please, continue. That is ideal.
Standing by.
Our archer is just going to stay put exactly where it's at. Do we go for the Oro here? I don't know. Actually, that's the only one that we have even marginal hit odds on. Okay. We're not going to fire the handheld light PPC. Actually, we kind of just need to chill here. We are in this fire. And we're going to get out of the fire.
My mech's overheating.
Yep. And we're just going to cool this turn.
Commander, I'm reporting a slow roasting pilot here. Thank you.
As expected. Okay, I'm not shocked that they're going for the Chameleon. This was expected.
Oh, you're in trouble now.
They got a head hit out of that, but that's okay.
Regret that.
Next up
Standing
is
by.
our Nidhogg. Now, the Nidhogg is absolutely going to make its way over here.
On it.
And we are going to drop a bomb on this mortar carrier. We're going to look to splash damage this Timberwolf, this Puma, and this Puma. So let's do this. Light them up.
Engaging target.
Okay, we only splash damaged over here, but we did take out the mortar carrier. That's fine. That Timberwolf is very close to dead. But our Maxim is absolutely going to move in over here and go for, I think, this Puma, right? Or maybe it'll have to be the Demolisher. We may well lose the Maxim here, and if we do, this is a trade I'm willing to make. The Maxim for this Demolisher.
Locking in all weapons.
Warning. Enemy reinforcements detected.
You've got hostile contacts inbound.
Additional enemies, huh? I can't say I'm super shocked. I'm a little bit salty about that, but where are they? Ah, okay, this is just an air unit. That's not too bad.
Goods to go.
Fine. We're going to move this Chameleon up to here,
Position confirmed.
and we're going to hit this Lacerator as hard as we can in its rear arc. We're going to go ahead and fire all the small lasers, maybe even the heavy laser. This is a pretty good shutdown chance. I think we're going to not fire this heavy laser.
Target lock on rear arm.
Oh, we missed almost everything. That's sad.
Pretty damn hot.
Okay, so these guys are going to work on catching up. I'm okay with this, though. They're attempting to attack the Nidhogg. That's fine. The Nidhogg is less expendable than the other vehicles, but still pretty expendable. This, however, is a stealth bomber that I did not see previously. So they've got a Nidhogg of their own and a stealth bomber. Okay. The Maxim actually survived that.
Armor blow through.
I'm surprised. At any rate, the Raven is going to make its way up here and position right here.
Affirmative.
I'm definitely going to Vigilance the Raven here. And the Raven is going to look to finish off this Oro.
Firing everything I've
And that's a dead Oro. Now, these guys are definitely dangerous to the Raven.
killed.
There's no doubt about that. What is the weaponry on those, even? We don't actually see them right now. Okay. Phase 22, I think this is one of these helicopters over here. Yeah, I didn't previously see the Nidhogg and the Seth. Those aren't great to deal with, but we can. A little bit of internal damage onto that Timberwolf. We'll take that. They're firing heavily onto the Nidhogg with their Stormcrow. That's okay.
Not much armor left in that location.
I don't mind that. The Nidhogg's job is almost done. The Lacerator positions there. Okay, that's a fairly good position for it. Big ol' helicopter finishing off the Maxim, but it took another turn and some missiles to do it. I'm okay with that. The vehicles are sacrificial, buying us time, doing valuable damage. Go for it. Hit that Chameleon as hard as you want right now.
That was a big hit. Big
Yep,
hit.
that's okay. He's overheated.
Standing by.
Next, this Blackjack, I would love to position it to hit some of these guys. We're just going to have to position here for right now, and we could go for this Timberwolf. We could go for the Seth, although the odds on that are terrible. The Vector, the odds on that are pretty low as well. I think we absolutely go for the Timberwolf, and we probably have to just fire the single ERPPC here. But we do get the hit there. That's nice. Okay, next up, the Jaeger. I think we absolutely position the Jaeger here. The Jaeger is very effective at flak firing. So we're going to start working on taking down some of these boys. That was really solid right there. 2 hits in exactly the same location on that Seth. We don't know how much health it actually has. That was good. That was some very good clustering on that Puma as well. We'll take that. Puma moves forward. Fires on the Orion. We like this. The Orion is dead. I would have preferred that it lived there, but we don't care. That's not our Orion.
I'm here.
The Guillotine will absolutely step forward here.
On my way.
And I don't think we actually go for the Pumas here. I think we finish off this Timberwolf. Just so that the AI does not. And then we'll sink some heat.
Attacking from position.
It's 1 dead Timberwolf, and now that should free up the King Crab here to maybe tear into one of these guys or maybe go after this. We'll see. The Puma moves up, fires on the Raven. This is why we vigilanced the Raven. Ow. But the Raven is okay.
That hit hard.
Yeah.
Getting pretty hot in here.
That's exactly why we vigilanced the Raven there. Okay, still got a lot of those LRM-15s.
I'm your spaniel.
The Archer is still running pretty hot.
I'm going.
The question is, who do we want to go after here? The Puma? Perhaps. Timberwolf? 47%. 31. I think that we should go after this Puma. They're a little bit spread out right now. I don't really like that. We'll not fire the medium laser for sure, or this LRM-20, just so that we sink heat. Okay, that's some damage into that Puma. Excellent. And next is this Guillotine. Okay, we'll step up.
Confirmed.
A little bit of heat from the fire, but that's okay. I think we work on this Puma. And I want a big damage burst, so we will use our PPCs.
Attacking from position.
And we hit the Raven with one of them. Perfect.
Ooh, took a heavy hit there. I'm generating a long.
Okay, the King Crab moves up. Goes for the Lacerator. He's probably going to shut down from this, though. That AMS is just bonkers.
Receiving you.
Okay, our Nidhogg is, I think... I'm considering whether we want to go after these guys or these guys. Difficult choices. I think we're going to keep the movement going here. And maybe go for this Lacerator.
On my way.
See if we can light this guy up in his rear arc a bit.
Target lock on him.
He's out of AMS ammo, so that's good.
Losing armor.
Who's losing armor? I don't know if that hit anybody. Maybe the Chameleon, I suppose. Okay, we're going to position over here because I don't want to turn our back to the Puma. I don't want to turn our back to this Timberwolf. We're going to have to hit this front arc here. We're not going to fire the ER medium laser here, but we may be able to get rid of his evasive pips. And we did. That's great. Okay. And that's an ejection, actually. That's wonderful. That's another one down. Okay, these helicopters are coming in. They're not really a good replacement for what they're missing. Unfortunately, we do need to move this Chameleon, but that's a knockdown. That is sad. Let's see. What did he fall on there?
Watch my six.
Okay. On the Nidhogg, that's fine. Go for the Nidhogg, please. I'd prefer that over the Chameleon, for sure. Okay, that's that torso. The Chameleon may well die here. Yeah. This is not looking great. Phase 14 is when we can get the Chameleon up. The Timberwolf moves in phase 20. I think the Chameleon dies.
Weapon systems down.
I'd love to eject it. Unfortunately, we can't. It's now phase 10 that the Chameleon moves. Yeah, the Chameleon is pretty dead here. I don't think there's really a way around that. But that's okay. It's just a medium. As an engine destruction, I think we'll be able to repair that. I think. We'll see. And whose turn is it right now? Phase 22 ally? That'll be the Fulcrum. Okay. We'll see what it decides to do here. Eventually. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good attack there. Structure exposure on that helicopter there. We'll take that. The Timberwolf jumped and fired on the Nidhogg with everything it had. That's going to be a shutdown, I'm pretty sure. That is a structure exposure on the Nidhogg, but we don't really care if that goes down. That said, this is starting to look like a pretty expensive victory. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to move the Raven over this way, and we're going to Vigilance it and sink some heat. We took a lot of heat from the Infernos that the Puma had. The Shiltrin moves up, fires on this guy, and shoots him down. That's what we like to see right now. I would really like to see their Nidhogg and Seth going down, but alas, that is probably not going to be a thing for a little bit, and I would love to get into LOS of this Puma. We can by positioning here, I suppose. 65% versus the Rippers, 27, the Seths. Yeah, these guys are still pretty far out there. I would love to eliminate this Puma. I don't think that we quite can pull this off, killing it with this mech anyway. But we can weaken it. Excellent. The King Crab moves up, fires on the Seth here. It weakens it pretty well. That's a structure exposure and engine crit. That I don't mind. I'm a little surprised it didn't go for the shutdown Timberwolf, but okay. Yeah, those Pumas do a lot. Okay. So this Chameleon, at this point, we're going to move it up here. We are absolutely going to Vigilance it. We may lose it. This is a gambit. But we're going to go for this Seth and go for the kill on that. If we can take down this Seth, that's a huge deal for us.
Damn you for making
22 damage into it. That wasn't enough.
punch right through his armor.
Okay. Puma moves up, fires on the Nidhogg. Nidhogg goes down. I'm not too shocked by this. The Nidhogg going down is fine. We need to eliminate these guys before we can really turn our attention over here.
Yeah.
Our Jaeger is, however, absolutely in a position to be working on this. I would love to take that Seth down. Are hit odds better anywhere else? Technically, yes. I'm going to close in a little bit over here and see if that helps things. Yeah, 47.3. I like it. Go for that, Seth.
Engaging target.
I think we hit it there, but we did not take it down.
Standing by.
Okay. This guillotine is absolutely going to close in over here.
Roger.
And we're going to fire on this Puma. There's not too much that we can do here. We're going to have to fire just our medium lasers for right now and sink some heat.
Engaging with target.
But that is 60 damage. We need to get these Pumas eliminated. There's no doubt about that. Our Archer will step up over here. The question is, do we want to fire on this Seth? 54%. 77 on that Puma. But I want this Seth dead. It can do a lot of damage to us.
Roger that.
There we go.
Reporting vehicle destroyed.
Excellent.
Standing by.
This guillotine will now move up, and we will front arc kick this Puma. Do we fire the ERPPC? Nah, we don't. Okay, that was 70 damage there. That's very good. That was a lot of front arc damage into that Puma. Okay, next phase. Phase 29. That'll be this Ripper. The Ripper is not particularly threatening. It just backs off. Okay, I like it.
Good to go.
Our Raven is going to position somewhere over here.
Right, Commander.
And we're going to fire on this Puma. This is side arc, technically. And we're not going to fire the medium pulse laser.
Affirmative.
Okay. Sensor impairment there. And wait, he actually ejected. He did not need to do that. That opens things up for us. Yes, they're going to shoot at the Raven. Yes, they're going to kill the Raven. Yes, that's irritating. But that was actually only a side torso. We had an XL engine in that, so that's not too bad. That's also slightly irritating, but we knew that would happen. Yeah, we're taking a lot of damage here. There's no doubt about that. But not, I think, as much as it seems. It seems like we're taking more damage than we are. Now that Puma moves phase 16. This King Crab phase 18. The Fulcrum is moving now and firing on the Timberwolf. Okay, that's some decent damage there.
Aye, aye.
Our Blackjack is going to step up here. Our heat is up there. So instead of firing the ERPPCs, we are going to fire 2 medium lasers and an ERPPC, and we're going to sink a tiny amount of heat there.
Confirmed.
And we did hit all 3 of those. That's great. We impaired his sensors,
Ready for orders.
and the Archer is now capable of moving up over here. The Archer is going to be engaging these guys long range, I think. Now, they have AMS. I'm pretty sure of this. But regardless, that was some pretty good chunks of damage there.
I'm here.
This Guillotine is going to step up to here. And we're going to light into this Puma's front arc. Its front arc is quite weakened. We do fire the ERPPC, but not the Clan.
Firing.
Okay. I was hoping that that would kill that Puma. It did not.
Watch those heat levels.
King Crab moves up. He's going for the Timberwolf. That's going to do a lot to the Timberwolf, to be fair. That's a knockdown. And the King Crab shut down. So he may become the target at this point. The Shiltrin is also firing on the Timberwolf, but it missed almost everything there. Okay.
Waiting for orders.
Our Jaeger is going to be continuing to fire on these guys. 54% on the Nidhogg. We take that.
Acknowledged.
Sadly, we missed both. Okay. Well, the Nidhogg isn't super dangerous at that range, so that's okay. We're going to move the Chameleon over here. This is going to be the right-hand strong side facing this guy. Unfortunately, there's LOS over here. We're probably going to end up losing the Chameleon. I am going to vigilance it just to be safe here. Careful. And we're going to fire on this Puma. This is rear arc. It's not ideal. But maybe we get him to eject. He actually did.
To the LZ commander. I'm coming in hot.
I'm slightly shocked by this.
I'm here.
Okay, so our Guillotine can immediately begin sprinting down this way and opening fire on these guys long range with that Clan ERPPC.
Aye, aye. Engaging target.
And that's a hit. A structure exposure on that Nidhogg as well. The Timberwolf gets up, and I'm assuming it fires on the King Crab here. It doesn't fire at all. The Ripper moves up. The King Crab. Now that is ideal. Let's see what the Nidhogg does. The king crab. I like it a lot. They're focusing that king crab so hard that it's going to kill them. Yes. Okay. All good. I don't care about what happens to the king crab at this point. It did its job. It's fine. So we just need to take these guys down. There's only 4 of them left, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe. The Fulcrum is going to fire on the Timberwolf. That's a structure exposure. And he tagged the Timberwolf there. An engine crit. So that Timberwolf is running an XL? I mean, that's not surprising for a clan mech. Unless that was a CT exposure. Firing on the Fulcrum of all things. Okay, that's fine. I literally don't care about that. That's a huge misplay on their part. We're going to step forward with the Archer here, ever so slightly. 34.5, 40.8, 54, 47.3. But the Nidhogg does have exposed structure. That is CT on the Timberwolf. Okay. We're almost out of Artemis ammo here, but we are definitely going to fire on that Nidhogg. A couple more rotor crits in there.
Scored a critical hit.
I've definitely seen better. The Shiltrin moves up, fires on the Cascatel. Actually does a lot to it there. That's pretty great.
Commander,
We're going to walk up with this guillotine.
I copy.
And honestly, the Nidhogg is still the most dangerous here. Do we take this overheat? I think we take this overheat. Okay. We hit with the PPC, not the laser. That's fine.
My heat sinks can't take much more.
Oh, you're okay. The Jaeger is 31.5, 60.5, and 40.8. We'll go for the Cascatel. This will probably kill it.
Roger.
Or we'll completely miss. I guess that works too.
That's a miss.
Indeed.
Aye,
That
aye.
is pretty much what you call that. We're going to move up with this guillotine. And we're going to fire on that Nidhogg. I want that Nidhogg dead. Yesterday.
Firing.
That was not good shooting. We did hit it, but not how I wanted to.
I'm here.
Our Blackjack is going to move up.
Let's move.
And is also going to fire on that Nidhogg, I think. Actually, the Cascatel is a better target right now. It has like 1 HP. I think we don't take this overheat.
Confirmed.
That's a hit. And a kill? And a kill. Technically, that was a pilot ejection. We'll take it. We're going to move down over this way with the Chameleon, and we want to make sure that the right side is facing as many of them as possible.
Copy that.
We're going to Vigilance the Chameleon. We do definitely need to be upgrading these mediums, right? That is... It's clear that these mediums are not really up to what we're doing here.
Aye, aye.
That was a lot of damage on that Ripper. Actually a kill. We'll happily take that.
Vehicle down. Poor bastard.
Okay, so all they've got left is the Nidhogg and the Timberwolf. Both of them are in dire straits right now. The Nidhogg moves up, goes for the King Crab. Fully acceptable. I don't care. We'll see what our allies do here. Okay, they missed the Nidhogg. What else do they have? The Timberwolf does nothing.
You've got my attention.
And they've already moved this round. So we're going to move in with our Chameleon over here into this rear arc position. Is this rear arc? I don't actually know if this is... Yeah, this is rear arc. So we want to be in the cover, and we want to have our right-hand side facing them.
Copy that.
Like so. Light up this Chameleon. Light up this Timberwolf's rear arc. Yeah, we're better off hitting his front arc, but this is okay. He is now unsettled. The Shiltrin moves up, fires on the Nidhogg, takes it down. Perfect. I'm very, very happy with that. Okay.
Standing by.
Our archer is actually capable of firing the last few Artemis rounds at the Timberwolf. Get him. Nice.
I'm out of LRM.
Yep, we expect that. We definitely need to get our cavalry lance upgraded, though. We've got a lot of work in front of us before we can really get that solid, though. Oh, hello. We have LOS here? So we do. We'll take that.
Attacking from position.
Okay, that was a good hit. The other hit, not so good, but one of those hits was good anyway. We'll just move the blackjack down over here and sink heat. We don't have LOS. And the guillotine, we will just close in a little bit and sink heat.
Moving fast.
That wasn't exactly what I'd call fast, sir.
All right. Full
Okay.
speed.
So let's see what our allies decide to do to the Timberwolf here. Is that going to be a knockdown? No, that's a heatsink plus 5 crit. Okay. However, our blackjack can now move over here where we do have LOS. And we're going to look for taking out this leg, ideally. Oh, okay. That's just a straight up kill. We'll take it.
Go down.
So we took some damage, to be sure. We lost a Raven, we lost a Chameleon, and some vehicles. The vehicles we don't actually care about. They are super easy to replace. The Raven and the Chameleon, we knew we needed to upgrade anyway. Like, the Raven is literally only there for tonnage considerations. We just don't have the tonnage to drop what we want. I think that we probably still made a profit out of that one. We'll see. We will certainly see. Let's see. Anything that we really want here? A summoner would not be awful in terms of... Well, this variant of summoner would be awful for what I want. In terms of a heavy cavalry mech. Nothing great in terms of salvage here. Maybe we go for the Pumas? I mean, we could. But it doesn't really fit into our doctrine. So I think instead we're going to take the summoner parts. Or maybe Timberwolf parts. How many Timberwolf parts are there here? I think we'll do something like this. Okay, we got 3 Timberwolf parts. That's fine. This endosteel structure we can probably get rid of. Yeah, we've got 3 of them. This clan endosteel structure we're keeping. This clan engine XL we're also keeping. Excellent. Half the mass for the same performance, blah, blah, blah. What is the clan differential there? I'm not sure. We'll look into that later on. Some Artemis 4 clan FCS, we'll definitely take that. And improved FCS, we'll take that too. Reasonable salvage, actually. Considering that we only had 2 and 11. So, I mean, I do expect a pretty hefty repair bill here. Or perhaps even the Raven and or Chameleon being non-salvageable. But I think they'll both be salvageable. The question is, how much do we care about salvaging them, right? Like, we definitely want to upgrade them. I'd like to move our guillotines into more of the cavalry role. We'll probably need to upgrade their engines and move them around a bit, but overall, that's something I would like to do. And then the archer can remain in the juggernaut role as well as the Jaeger for now. But, okay, that's a lot of war activities. The Chameleon can't be recovered. Okay, that's fine, I guess. And then 341k. Sure, get started on that. I mean, it's not shocking that our mediums are having a hard time keeping up with this, right? That's not in the slightest shocking. This is a lot of repairs that are needing to happen. I do want to stop repairs on that Raven. Assuming the mech bay loads. Okay, there we go. That was a little lengthy. We'll stop work on the Raven. Yep. And yeah, I want to start moving into getting a little bit better on our doctrines, for sure. Okay, Raven, come on. Let's get you fixed up. And honestly, this is maybe good enough. We may want to just dump the Raven for now. Like, just take all of this on off of here. And then we validate this. Oh, do we actually have to have an engine mounted to get rid of it? I'm not sure if we do or not. This is only going to take 3 days, though. Let's go ahead and do this. Because I want to get this Raven sent to salvage. Or not to salvage. I don't want to scrap it. I want to store it.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
Okay, so we'll look into that a little bit later on. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will see about getting some of our doctrines moved around. It might be an administrative episode. We'll see. Because clearly, changes need to be made. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.